Kirby Morrow, Dave Kleinman on Atlantis. You also have an extensive voice acting background.
Yes, I do.
Pleasure to be with you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
How's the Stargate Con?
It's pretty cool. It's interesting. The first con I've been to that's all Stargate. So I've done animation ones, I've done animation sci-fi. Now it's just Stargate. All Stargate all the time.
Here in Vancouver?
Yes.
All right. You definitely have a voice for radio.
You're listening now to some dulcet tones. Yeah.
So, what is it that you like about voice acting?
I get to play a very diverse range of characters, be them even different sexes, different ages.
Yeah.
You can get your voice anywhere. And it's when you're acting on camera, you're pretty much isolated to what this looks like and this looks like. And voice acting is you can wear what you want. There's no heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty fun job to go in and sit in the studio with people and just be really animated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you done a lot of prosthetic work?
No, actually, not a lot of prosthetic work at all. I've done, I think maybe twice I've used little bits of prosthetics, but I don't want to mess this up. No, I don't. Why would you prosthetize this? It's just little things I've done in some shows, but it'd be interesting because it's funny because they do so many different voices and play a range of characters, but on camera I'm pretty much.
It's usually you unless they change you with makeup.
Yeah, so. There hasn't been much of that. I've been beaten up a lot, a couple of times where they put the scars on me, and I can't remember the show, but there was aliens that kind of monsters that attacked me, and I was all cut up. But yeah.
What do you like about working on sci-fi shows as opposed to other genre shows? Vancouver is like the nexus of sci-fi shows. Frankly, I mean, it's cheaper to shoot up here.
That's the thing, and we do. I mean, our
expensive.
CGI, which is computer-generated imaging, is very cost-effective here as well. I've been told, which is why sci-fi goes so well. We have a pretty diverse landscape around the Vancouver area, and so it's been working well for sci-fi. I love comedy. I love doing.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, I have a stand-up comedy background, and I'd love to audition for sitcoms. We just don't make them here. Although there's one in the works that I just auditioned for, and they said they might come up and do it here. Then they just called my agent and said, "Can he work in the States?" And I don't have the working permit
you don't have a visa
per se, but
okay.
I'm gonna have to get that in the works.
Yeah, I know. all my bread and butter comes from up here, but I can't move here, so it's frustrating. You can visit, but
what are these borders? We don't need borders. What are they for? Crazy. Yes.
Jeez. So you were as a captain?
I started off as a captain, then they moved me into major status at one time. Okay. And there was actually talk with my agent and everything else. They're saying, we have this storyline they were thinking about developing with the character, but there's so many storylines that are very prominent in the show. It never really came to be. And I think at first, the way my name came about is Dave Kleinman. It was just one of I think it was a crew member. And it was kind of a joke that they stuck Dave Kleinman on me. And it stayed that way, and it was kind of like, okay. And then I started to be known. People were talking about it on the internet, and I was Captain Dave, man.
Well, they're not just putting a name tag there, and it's not blurred out. That's an identity. Once your name tag is there, you have. It's not just the Kirby Morrow character.
Exactly.
So there you go. Spent a lot of time working with Mitch Pileggi.
Yes, Mitch.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, Mitch is great. He's a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you were in several episodes of Atlantis, always on the Daedalus bridge. A lot of things exploding. Is it?
I did this a lot. We're getting hit, man. Actually, there was 2 times I was able to get out of my chair and walk and talk. Those were big days for me. But it was pretty easy. I could just actually take my lines and put it on my console when they're filming this. I could be like, oh, okay, here are my lines. Geez. But there were a couple times where I got to walk and talk, and I felt much more extended as an actor. Like I could really delve into the process.
Are you disappointed that now that Atlantis is over, are you disappointed that there wasn't an opportunity to further the character anymore besides Major Dave Kleinman?
Well, of course, you always have the dreams of grandeur where you believe, I'm going to make my character something great, and he's going to do what the cigarette smoking man became in X-Files, where he was, just this little piece, and all of a sudden he became a pinnacle part of X-Files. And you always kind of hope your character is going to become something, a renegade that changes sides and gives you diversity to be able to act things. And then you get horribly scalded, and then you get the prosthetics, and then then it all builds into something more, and then there's a lot of love affairs. And it's always about the love affairs. That's what we're looking for. Yes.
You were Martin Christopher's counterpart on SG-1. Martin did the Odyssey. He was the crewman on the Odyssey, and you were the crewman on the Daedalus.
Oh, okay.
So, I will be honest, sometimes I had mixed you guys up.
Oh.
Do you ever get that? He was the one on the Odyssey. No, the Daedalus. I was the one on the Daedalus.
No.
Has that ever happened?
First time I've heard that, but if he's that much like you, he must die. There cannot be two. Only one. No, first time I heard that, but...
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, now I know. I've never met Martin, so now I'll definitely... I'm kidding.
Yes.
I knew it was you. But, no, it's great. It's great. What's on the horizon for you right now? What can we expect to see you in? What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a couple cartoons right now. One called Death Note, another one called Gundam 00. Doing voicing characters in that. I just had a meeting with the director yesterday for a movie called The Good Wife, so I'm hoping that materializes. And there's a pilot out of ABC that I think if they film it up here, I could be the guy, but if they're talking about doing it in LA, it's going to be, are they going to get me the work permit to come down in LA or go up to down to LA and do it. And other than that, I've been just been working on. I've been writing some scripts and keeping busy.
Oh, okay. You are. So you do a little writing.
Yeah.
Sitting in the trailer, nothing else to do. You got your lines ready, so gotta write.
Let's see. Time to write something and make me the central character. Lots of love scenes. Perfect. Yes.
Very cool.
It's a balmy -9 here in Vancouver. Actually, it's not too bad for what are we in? April 2.
April, but they say it's been a lot colder than normal lately. It was snowing the other day, and I've never been here when it snowed.
Right, and it was one of those snows that just kind of showed its face and disappeared, as it often does.
Exactly.
Like the scared child it is. But it's, Vancouver's great. We're a rainforest. It rains a lot.
What kind of stuff do you like to write? More drama, more comedy?
Bits and pieces. I love to write comedy. I found it got a little tedious in my younger years because there was not much of an avenue for it. A lot of people say, well, we don't really make comedies in Canada. Although so many funny people come from this country. I'm not sure why that happens, but I've got actually no, the script I'm writing now is it's got a serious undertones, but it ends up being a comedy. Kind of a buddy gangster film with a lot of funny things that happen.
So how do you pitch a script that you've written to the studio? How do you go about doing that?
All on who you sleep with, really.
I bet.
So I'm going to show you something right now. You got agents that you give things to, and they show it to people. And I've had interest from scripts before, and people go, "Yeah, we want to make this. This is so great."
And then they never call you back.
And no, they call you back, and they meet with you, and then they put it on a shelf, and they go, "Hey, and they give you a little bit of money and say, yeah, okay, we're going to option this for a while." And it's really hard to get things made sometimes. And it's like, I need to make some more connections. Got to sleep with the right people. That's what you got to do.
That's right.
I got to make a whole new list. That's what I'm going to do.
Has the economy affected the industry up here at all, from your perspective?
It has, definitely. Last year it's funny because I took 2007 off and I went and traveled around the world because I hadn't really taken a vacation in 12 years. And I thought, that's it, I'm leaving.
Good for you. Well, 12 years, yeah.
Yeah, I went to 4 continents, 24 countries, 106 destinations. I saw a lot of the world. It was fantastic.
Of different women.
A lot of women. And I came back and I was like, okay, ready to work. And there was just like no auditions. I was like, ooh, okay. And I did the L Word, and there was a movie called Death Among Friends, except I'm the one who dies in the beginning, and it's all about why I died.
Oh, man.
So I'm in the whole first part of the movie, and then I meet an unfortunate demise. Because I do a lot of radio advertising as well. My voice is on the voice of.
A lot of people knock it because you don't make as much money, but there's, like you were saying earlier, there's so much more breadth of character.
And it's funny because if you get onto a series and you start negotiating wage for to be a series regular or something, you can make an incredible amount of money. But if you're guest starring and stuff, the wage is really comparable for voice work. Like you go in, you do a cartoon in less than 4 hours, and you make.
And you go home.
Yeah, and you go home, and you can make $1,500, $2,000 in 4 hours work, even
That's
2.5
good.
hours a week. Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's right.
You know, there's a lot of people who struggle quite hard to make that kind of money a month, and it's voice work is great because it's so much fun to be these different characters and get into voices and just you know, you see a picture of something and you can just kind of feel the voice building inside you and go, oh, they're gonna sound like this, you know, and it's great. I've annoyed many a girlfriend to go, like, what are you doing? I'm practicing.
Well, stop it. You're creeping me out.
Yeah. We're in a restaurant. Stop that.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Have you heard anything about Universe?
I have.
Other than they're doing it.
Apparently, I was too old to audition for Universe.
They do have a
What's the
relatively
deal
young
with that?
cast.
I'd like to say I was too good looking.
That's right. They're all just dogs.
Yes,
they
yes.
just cast a bunch
That
of dogs.
ugly
for that
cast.
show.
Actually, I was talking to John Lennox the other day. I ran into him at
Oh yeah.
breakfast.
Isn't he cool?
He is, yeah. And my very first job ever, back in 1996, on-camera job, was a movie called Girls Fight Back. And I played a football player who was molesting cheerleaders. True story. And he was, I think he was a lowly production assistant at that time. And now he's worked his way up to grand producer of Stargate. And so I've known him for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And I saw him and one of the cast members at breakfast on Sunday, I believe it was. And I'm like, what's the deal? When am I going to get into this show? And he's like, we'll have to see if we get some auditions coming up and what kind of characters.
But it's now harder than ever because they're out in the distant universe and they never get home. Except for an episode or two where there's a little bit of backstory. So once you're on the I don't know how many characters are on the ship, though.
Who's the nemesis? Who are the evil people? Are they all prosthetics?
There's no clue. They don't have an arch enemy. I think the idea is that a couple of the leads might end up, or one in particular might end up being one of the bad guys.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be clever? And intense and controversial?
This kind of sounds like The Mole. Come on, who thought of this idea?
It's my opinion that Robert Carlyle's character may end up being a little bit darker than everyone expected.
I think if you're going to pick a cast member, he would be a good choice for that.
Yeah.